From Dr. Gerrita Postlewait to the first day of school to serving on the Charleston County School Board, Chairwoman Cindy Bohn Coats talks to me one-on-one for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Cindy.
Good morning.
It's so good to see you again.
It is good to see you, Quintin.
I really appreciate this.
No, thank you. I like being able to talk about schools.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of which, I want to take it back to yesterday.
Okay.
Obviously, it was the first day of school for Charleston County Schools. If you were to sit down at a typewriter right now, what would you write as a headline?
We're off to a good start.
Yes.
I got to go to Deer Park Middle School yesterday. It's a new school.
Yes.
For the northern end of North Charleston. It was amazing. Moms, dads, giant book bags, and little children. It was just phenomenal to see the excitement, to see the moms and dads bringing the kids in. I also got to go to A.C. Cochran.
Yes.
The same thing, the little elementary school kids. They have 3-year-olds in a program there, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds, and first through 4th grade. So it's all the little kids. There was so much excitement and beautiful posters and happy teachers, and it was exciting. Then I ended up going over to Wando for the last part of the day, and it was quite the opposite. Quiet, calm. They're old hands at this by now. School's not anything new to them.
Wow. And as you know, most of Lincoln Middle High School students are going there.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to see them there yesterday?
I didn't. There are 4,000 students at Wando High School, and 82 came from Lincoln. Only 16 people were in the junior class at Lincoln last year. So 15 of them have come to Wando, and 1 has gone to the new Oceanside Charter School. But of those 82 children, there are well over a few hundred that are 10th, 11th, and 12th graders who have set foot at Wando for the first time. Transfer-ins, people's families have moved.
Yeah.
So what you saw was a lot of happy students. You didn't see anybody being singled out, and that was by design. Miss Jabbar, who was at Lincoln, is over at Wando this year, and she said they're not a separate group. They're part of the student body, and it was wonderful. They are wonderful classes. We talked about the extra courses they're taking. We talked about how she's there for them if they need her, but otherwise they are regular students at Wando, not being singled out in any way.
Speaking of classes, as you know, today is the second day of school.
Yes.
I'm wondering, if you were to look at the end of the day right now, what would you want to see from this day?
Well, the first day is organization. What I saw yesterday, of course not at Wando again, the high schoolers, they're all pros by now.
Yes.
A lot of getting students ready. It was very encouraging and very fun, but they were doing things like teaching the kindergarten kids, this is how we're going to line up. This is how we walk in the hall. Teaching them to get ready for things like that. I actually went into a classroom and they were practicing how to line up to go to the cafeteria. And then they went to the cafeteria and practiced how to go through a line. Today, education.
Yes.
Organization, it's time to settle in. We got what seems like a long time, but it's 179 days left, 1 down. So what I want to see today is that our children are being educated, being motivated, encouraged. I want them to know at the end of this year there's a plan, and that is for them to have accomplished everything they're supposed to in that grade and move on with success.
Speaking of settling in, right down the hallway is Dr. Gerrita Postlewait. She technically is in her second year as superintendent. What letter grade would you give right now, superintendent?
Well, you know, that's an interesting question, Quintin, because she's in her second year as superintendent. But the way schools are set up, the way the school year is set up, she's in the first year of what she is responsible for doing. She dropped into the middle of an existing budget, an existing staff. Everything had been hired, everything had been planned. The 15-16 school year was ready to go. So her job last year was to execute what was before her. This is the first year we're going to see her planning, her team's influence, what they want to see is the vision in our school. So I think it's actually, we have to think of it as the second first year. This is the first one that she's put her stamp on and said, this is how I believe we need to move our children in all of our schools and all of our grades forward.
Yes.
So I think it's going to be, I think she's done a phenomenal job given the challenges, expected challenges and certainly some unexpected challenges that she faced last year. But I think the real testament is going to be what happens when she plans a year and we do a year.
Speaking of challenges, as you know, as sitting on the Charleston County School Board as chair, the budget deficit. You got Tony Lewis. You have to close your Lincoln Middle. What is it like to be on the Charleston County School Board these days?
I think the first thing is it's not unique. This is a public education. This is a public education entity, an extraordinarily large entity. There are 5,000 employees in CCSD. There are 46,000 children in classrooms today. So it helps if you step back and remember there are other school districts all over South Carolina.
Right.
There are school boards all over the country. This is just the nature of what we do. And if you don't want the challenges, or if you don't believe in the transparency and the open conversations and the fact that you will be looked at and judged,
Right.
then don't get into this particular public service board.
Well, Chairwoman, I should say, Cindy Bohn Coats, thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
It's always a pleasure to see you. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you.
Call me after the first 9 weeks. We'll do this again.
Thank you. I will.
All right.